Yo, welcome back to the channel. This is Thomas Ryan, and this is Comic Book 101, where we go over the ins, the outs, the ups, the downs, the oh my gods of the indie comic book space. And I'm here to tell you about my mistakes, my blunders, my findings, so you don't have to struggle and find them out on your own. I'm going to give them right to you. So, hope you enjoy. So, today is like a state of the union because I want to talk about the state of indie comic books in 2023. All right. I want to talk about some things. And, I haven't been here all my life. I haven't been here for even a decade yet. But this is just based on my findings and, and based on my experiences in this space. So I'm not here to spark up any controversy. I'm not here to call people out or just make people feel bad about stuff or anything like that. I'm just here to talk about what's going on in this community, which happens to be a very small community. At the end of the day, the indie comics community is very small. I thought it was much larger than what it actually is. I go places where, people that I know of are not even from, and people will say, hey, you know this person. I'm like, oh, wow, you know that person too. And I'm like, cool. So this is a very small world, very tight knit community. So the state of indie comics today, in my opinion, is very, very disjointed. Okay. And let me clarify. Let me clarify what I mean by that. So when I say that it's very disjointed, what I'm saying is that everybody is off in their own corner of the world and everybody's doing their own thing. Now, is that a bad thing? No, that's never a bad thing, because we as individuals within this space, we have to work to build up our thing. We have to work to build up our network. We have to work to build up our communities and our ecosystems so that we can provide our comics to more and more people and grow our businesses more and more. So no, that is not a bad thing. That is not like a sin to do that. But with that, there comes a few issues that I'm going to address that just pertain to me. First and foremost, I guess I'll start this off by saying we're not rappers. Okay. I'm going to start this off by saying this right now. We're not rappers. All right. I may have sunglasses on and shades and I might look a little cool, but we're not rappers. Okay, guys. There's no game to take over, we're not dropping albums. We're dropping comic books. So with that said, it's kind of hard to say this because the level of competition within the indie comic space, from my view and my perspective, is high. And there's nothing wrong with competition or feeling competitive or looking at the guy next to you and say, hey, I see you doing good. I want to do good too. I want to do just as good. That's healthy. But to look at the next guy and be like, nah, we got to take over because we got to make sure that this person don't steal our fan base or something silly like that. I think that's where stuff gets weird. I think that's where it gets odd. I think that's where I say we're not rappers. You know what I mean? So when we turn against each other in the community and we start to say, well, I mess with this person, but I don't mess with that person because they make the same type of book as me, and that's competition. I think that's where stuff gets weird. I think that's where stuff gets silly. I think that's where we lose the spirit of what comic books are about, or not even just comic books. How about just literary pieces in general? Okay. If I make one type of book and you make that same type of book, I made that book with my style and I'm all over it. You made that book with your style and you're all over it. Can people like both? Yes, they can. But I feel that people kind of walk around with a scarcity mindset within the space sometimes, and they say, well, if you're getting fans in the same genre as me, then you're competing against me and you're taking from me, which is totally not the case. We all have our imprints. A lot of us have our imprints. So we have our LLCs, we have our businesses, and I don't see them as competing. And that's kind of like a big reason why I put together my app in general, right? Like I put that together because I'm like, well, we all do our separate thing and we all do great things. So why not just come together and let's do this together, build up together and putting all of our communities together and do 10x times what we're doing by ourselves. is what I was trying to insinuate by making this platform. But you know, it's about genres, it's about people's tastes, it's about people's preferences at the end of the day. Can somebody like something that you made and like something that I've made? Yes, they can. Can they like something that you made and not prefer what I made? Yes. But it's not because we're in the same market or we're in the same field. It's because people have their own preferences. People have their own preferences, right? So if you make all sci-fi books and I make all superhero comic books, right? And I say I sell a lot of superhero comic books and you don't sell any sci-fi comic books. That doesn't mean that your sci-fi comic books are bad. That just means that people just prefer the superhero comic books at that time, and they're not preferring the sci-fi comic books. But that's nothing against you. That's nothing against your work, and that's nothing between us to the point where there is beef or any type of animosity between us within the space. I do feel that there's there's definitely a lot of clicky stuff as well. I don't fully understand it. Like I said, we're not rappers. We make books, and we all make great books. So I mean, it just gets a little bit odd to me when we take the rapper approach of beefing and clicking and trying to gatekeep or trying to block or trying to overthrow anybody within this very small space. The state of indie comics today for me is disjointed. The state of indie comics to me today is I think it's moving away from the essence that comics once had, when, you know, back in the earlier days where, you know, people just made comics because they loved them. People bought comics because they loved them. Nobody really had a problem with anybody else that did comics in their space. Of course, there's always competition. Of course, you know, like, I think that's human nature, right? I think as a human, I feel competitive because I don't know, maybe that's just how I am. That's just my personality. I'm in business and I'm looking and I always want to step my game up. Maybe that's just me, but to the point where we don't like somebody, to the point where you know, like, it just gets odd. To the point where you know, like, I understand that the community is small as well, but I see people, you know, like, even like with crowdfunding dates, like not putting out their crowdfunding because somebody else is putting their crowdfunding out the same day, and I couldn't get it. Like, I can't drop my stuff this day because they're dropping this day. We're not rappers, okay? You're not even in the same genre as this person. So just because they dropped their Kickstarter and people, like, you know, or their Indiegogo and people will back their stuff, you're doing a whole nother genre and you have a whole audience that you need to, like, cater to. So don't do the disservice of doing stuff like that because somebody else is dropping. You know, I'm just trying to bring back the common sense of community. I'm just trying to bring back being reasonable within the space, you know. And this is just what I'm seeing, you know. And on the flip side of that, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that all indie comic creators are like that. I'm not saying that the whole community is like that, because on the flip side, there are very great guys. There are guys that I work with right now that are awesome at what they do. Passionate guys that really work hard, really dedicate themselves to their craft, and they're awesome people at the end of the day. And they have no animosity. There are people that don't know me from a hole in the wall, never knew me ever, but came through and said, you know, I told them, hey, listen, I'm putting together this app for us indie guys. You get 100% of what you get, of what you make, and I'm just trying to build it up. I'm trying to get content on there. Guys showed me love, giving me their whole catalog, you know. So and I feel that doesn't just benefit me, it benefits them as well, and it benefits the community or indie comics as a whole. Everything that you do as an individual contributes to the whole. So when you fight amongst each other as individuals, you're kind of bringing down the community as a whole, because now you're hindering other people. If you hinder somebody else, or if you try to stop somebody else, or just, downtrot somebody else, then you're actually pushing down the entire market of what we do at the same time. So, yeah, so that's just my state of the union, to state of the indie comics union. And I just wanted to say, listen, show love, man. Show love. We're all in this together, right? Whether you want to believe it or not, whether you feel that way or not, we're all in this together. All right. One person's success does not equate to another person's failure. All right. You only fail if you fail yourself. All right. You only fail if you fail to show love. You don't fail because somebody else succeeds. That's not how things go. That's not how things work. I think that there's enough room at the top for everybody. I believe that everybody can eat. I believe that everybody has the opportunity to do great. And I also believe that together we can go farther. We can go farther. We can grow higher, and we can do more, and we can put more out there, and we can come together as a community. And this is just my opinion. And this is something I thought about at one time. Imagine if everybody within the indie comic book community came together, right, and said, here are all our books. Here's all the stuff that we have. Here are all the people we have following us. Let's pull this together and let's make something great together. Imagine what type of stuff we could put together. Obviously, there will have to be some checks and balances, and we have to figure out who would be doing what, and leadership and all that's cool stuff. Yeah, but I'm just saying, together we will be able to do 100 times more than we do by ourselves currently. 100 times more. Imagine, instead of talking to the same 500 people you talk to every day, you're now speaking to 500,000 people amongst the entire community every time you say something. Imagine how that would 20x your business if you just adopted that mindset, if everybody adopted that mindset. Imagine how great we would be. Imagine what indie comics would be. Imagine what the future of indie comics would be if we did that. Imagine that. Just imagine it. Little kids that's growing up right now saying, you know what, I want to do this. This is really cool. I see these guys doing this. I went to a Comic-Con with my dad. I went with my mom. Went wherever. I went to a Comic-Con. I experienced this. Now I want to grow up. When I grow up, I want to do this. And imagine that because of what we did by coming together. Imagine that being something viable. Imagine that being a career now that they want to teach you how to get to in college because it's such a lucrative thing. All because we came together and just said, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's work together. Let's pave the way for the next generation. Let's make it better for ourselves so we can make it better for those that come after us. Imagine that. It's a beautiful thing. It's a great thought. Unfortunately, not a lot of people adopt that mindset. And it's sad. It's not sad on them, because at the end of the day, it is business. Yes. At the end of the day, you have to make money. At the end of the day, you have to do what is best for you and yours, because you have a family. You probably have a family to take care of, right? You probably have, kids or a wife, or just your mother or your father, whoever. You have people that you want to care for. So that makes sense. But imagine how much more you could do if we all came together. That's all I'm saying. But I think that, unfortunately, even though I do believe strongly in that, and coming together and really working to become a massive indie comic book community under one umbrella is a pipe dream. And it is sad to think of that, and just to realize that probably won't ever happen, because there's just too many moving pieces. I believe that it's just so many moving pieces that people would really always find a way to negate that and not want to be part of it. Unfortunately, it's very unfortunate. But here's to love, here's to togetherness, here's to the growth of the indie community, here's to the growth of every single indie comic creator out there, every independent dreamer out there. Here's to the growth, here's love, here's respect to you all. And that's pretty much it. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for rocking with me today. Thank you for being here. If you enjoyed what I had to say today, definitely consider subscribing. Definitely consider liking and doing all that algorithm stuff that just, it just makes it better for me at the end of the day, because now I can reach more people with my message. I can influence more people. I can inspire more people. And I think that's a great thing. So thank you so much. Have a great day. Peace out. And really just, go out there and have fun with your stuff, man. I think that at its core, having fun and enjoying and smiling while you're writing and putting something together is a very important piece to the puzzle. So I hope that you can find that in whatever it is that you create. So I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in. If I gave you some valuable nuggets today, definitely consider subscribing, consider leaving me a comment, leaving me a like, doing all that stuff that the algorithm likes to help me get out to more people and show more people my stuff, and help more indie creators out there. So thank you very much, and I cannot wait to see you in the next episode. Peace.